Have you ever felt your hair changing with your emotions, growing faster when you're at peace, falling out during stress, or feeling alive during moments of clarity? Chosen ones, this is no coincidence. Your hair is not just appearance. It's your crown, your antenna, your silent messenger. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see yourself. Have you ever noticed how deeply personal your hair feels? It's not just strands growing out of your head. It's connected to you in ways most people never stop to consider. Across history, cultures have seen hair as more than beauty or fashion. To them, hair carried power, memory, and energy. Think of the story of Samson. His strength was tied to his long hair, and when it was cut, his power faded. Native American tribes believed that long hair heightened intuition and awareness, almost like extending one's sense of touch into the invisible world. Even in yogic traditions, hair is seen as a natural antenna that transmits prana, life force energy, through the body. These aren't just myths. They reveal a consistent theme across humanity. Hair has always been sacred. From a scientific perspective, the idea of hair as an antenna is surprisingly logical. Each strand is connected to a follicle rich with nerves and blood vessels. These follicles don't just grow hair, they sense, respond, and adapt to the environment around you. That's why stress, fear, and hormonal changes can instantly affect hair health. For highly sensitive individuals, those often called chosen ones, the connection is even stronger. Because you already feel the world more intensely, your hair often reflects those subtle energetic shifts before you consciously realize them. It might lose shine during heavy emotional seasons or suddenly grow faster when you step into peace and alignment. Your hair is essentially a mirror of your energy field. When you understand this, you stop treating it as just something to cut, dye, or style. You begin to see it as an extension of your inner life, a visible reminder of the invisible power flowing through you. And when you start honoring it that way, you unlock a deeper sense of respect for yourself, because your hair isn't random. It's your crown, and it quietly broadcasts who you are becoming. At the very top of your head lies the most important spiritual gateway, the crown. In many traditions, it's called the crown chakra or Sahasrara in Sanskrit. This is the energy center that connects you to higher wisdom, divine guidance, and the flow of universal consciousness. Now here, where hair becomes even more fascinating, your strands naturally grow outward from this exact place, like rays of light extending from a sun. This is why ancient teachers often described hair as a halo or crown of glory. It's not just poetic language. Your hair is the physical extension of this spiritual portal. The crown is your bridge between the physical world and higher realms. When it's open and clear, you feel connected, guided, and aligned with your purpose. When it's blocked or under attack, confusion, heaviness, and disconnection take over. Hair plays a role here because it acts like a buffer, a natural shield for this sensitive space. That's why many spiritual traditions insisted on protecting the head. You'll see monks shaving their crowns in humility, women covering their hair during prayer, and warriors tying their hair up before battle. These practices weren't random customs. They were ways to either guard or redirect crown energy. For the chosen ones, this connection is even more pronounced. Because you're more sensitive to energy, any shift in your crown chakra can be felt directly through your hair. You might notice tingling at the top of your head, sudden temperature changes in your scalp, or even hair texture changing during times of spiritual awakening. These aren't coincidences, they are signals. They remind you that your crown is receiving energy, and your hair is part of that communication system. When you start to see your hair as an extension of the crown chakra, everything changes. Styling or touching your hair becomes more than appearance. It becomes an act of spiritual care. Brushing it gently, oiling it with intention, or even simply being mindful when you wash it all carry more meaning than you realize. You're not just tending to hair, you're honoring your crown, your connection to the divine. Hair is one of the first things people notice about you, and for good reason. It silently communicates who you are long before you say a word. Throughout history, hairstyles have been used to signal belonging, power, rebellion, or transformation. Think of ancient warriors braiding their hair before battle, or leaders wearing crowns and elaborate headpieces. Even today, we instinctively connect hair with identity. Cutting it short can symbolize discipline, while letting it grow wild might suggest freedom or resistance. But beyond cultural meaning, hair has a deeply personal connection to your inner world. Have you ever gone through heartbreak, trauma, or a life-changing moment and felt the urge to cut or change your hair? That instinct is more than style, it's your spirit seeking renewal. People often cut their hair after loss or during transition because it feels like shedding old energy. It's a subconscious way of saying, I'm not who I was yesterday. On the other hand, growing your hair long often happens during stable or transformative periods when your spirit feels safe enough to extend itself outward. For chosen ones, these shifts in hair often line up with destiny markers. You might notice your hair changing texture, color, or growth rate during significant life seasons, moments when you're stepping into a new chapter of purpose. While others might dismiss it as random biology, you sense it's more than that. Your hair becomes a living symbol of your evolution, reflecting not just who you were, but who you're becoming. The truth is, your hair carries your story. Every strand holds memory, not just of what your body has been through, but of what your soul has endured and overcome. When you look in the mirror and notice your hair looking different, ask yourself, what is life trying to show me right now? It may be more than appearance. It may be your destiny speaking through your crown. If your hair truly connects to your energy and destiny, it makes sense that one of the first targets in spiritual warfare is the crown. The head represents authority, vision, and divine connection. It's no accident that throughout history, oppressors have controlled or removed hair to strip people of identity and power. In prisons, the first step is often shaving the head. In military training, hair is cut to enforce uniformity. Even in some oppressive cultures, enslaved people had their hair shaved to sever them from ancestral memory and spiritual pride. These aren't just practical acts, they carry symbolic weight. Removing or controlling hair is a way of dulling the crown's natural antenna. Chosen ones feel these attacks even more sharply. Because your crown is so open and sensitive, any attempt to disrupt your flow often shows up in your hair first. You might notice sudden shedding, thinning, or unexplained breakage during seasons of heavy opposition. Sometimes the scalp itself feels tense, itchy, or weighed down, almost as if unseen hands are pressing on your head. These aren't always physical issues. They can be signs that your crown is under energetic pressure. Think about why so many spiritual traditions emphasize covering or anointing the head. In Islam, hair is often covered during prayer as a sign of reverence and protection. In Christianity, oil is placed on the crown during blessings and healing rituals. In ancient times, warriors would tie up their hair before battle, not only for practicality, but to guard their crown energy. These practices weren't random customs, they were shields against spiritual interference. For you, as a chosen one, recognizing these attacks is crucial. If your hair suddenly feels drained, heavy, or unexplainably fragile, pause and ask yourself, is this just biology or is my crown being tested? Sometimes the most powerful act of resistance is as simple as protecting your head through prayer, intention, or physical care. Your hair is not just style, it's part of your armor. And when your crown is protected, your spirit cannot be easily shaken. One of the most fascinating aspects of hair is how its length carries meaning far beyond appearance. Every culture has seen long hair as something powerful, whether it symbolized wisdom, strength, or spiritual connection. The Nazarites in the Bible never cut their hair as a sign of devotion to God. Native traditions encouraged long hair as an extension of intuition and ancestral memory. In many spiritual paths, long hair is seen as an amplifier, like stretching out your antenna to better receive divine frequency. But cutting hair carries just as much symbolism. For many, the urge to cut hair comes during times of pain, endings, or transition. Think about how common it is for someone to drastically change their hairstyle after heartbreak. It's not vanity, it's a ritual of release. Cutting away the strands is like shedding old energy, saying goodbye to the version of yourself that carried those memories. In this sense, cutting hair becomes a form of spiritual cleansing, a way to reset your energy field and step into new beginnings. Neither long nor short is better. The power lies in timing. There are seasons when growing your hair helps you strengthen your spiritual shield, deepen your intuition, and feel more grounded. And there are other seasons when cutting it becomes necessary, when it's time to let go of burdens, detach from the past, and allow new life to emerge. As a chosen one, you'll notice these urges don't come randomly. They often arrive right when you're entering a new chapter of your destiny. You may feel called to grow your hair long when stepping into greater spiritual authority, or feel compelled to cut it when preparing for renewal. Both choices are sacred as long as they're intentional. The key is to listen, not to trends, not to others' opinions, but to the quiet voice of your spirit. Because whether you're growing or cutting, your hair is always in conversation with your soul. Your hair is more emotional than you think. It doesn't just sit on your head passively, it responds to what you're going through. Stress, grief, or emotional turmoil often leave visible imprints on hair. You've probably heard of people experiencing sudden shedding after trauma or noticing their hair thinning during seasons of heavy anxiety. That's because hair is closely linked to the nervous system and hormonal balance, both of which react directly to your emotional state. In simple terms, when the heart is heavy, the crown often shows it. On the other hand, positive emotions bring light into your hair. When you're at peace, joyful, or aligned with your purpose, your hair often appears shinier, fuller, or stronger without you doing anything differently. It's as though your inner harmony radiates outward, nourishing your crown naturally. Some even notice their hair growing faster during seasons of emotional freedom, when they've released old burdens or stepped into new opportunities. For chosen ones, this connection is especially strong. Because you feel life so deeply, your emotions register through your body more intensely, and your hair becomes a visible part of that story. Maybe people have told you you look different, or something about you has changed, even when you haven't altered your style. What they're sensing is your energy, reflected through the state of your hair. This is why emotional self-care isn't just about feeling better, it's also about protecting your crown. When you guard your peace, practice forgiveness, and nurture joy, your hair often mirrors that resilience. It's a reminder that your crown isn't just symbolic, it's alive, reflecting both your struggles and your victories. Treating your emotions kindly is, in a way, also treating your hair kindly because they are deeply connected. When most people think of hair care, they think of products, routines, or styles. But for those who understand its deeper meaning, tending to hair becomes an act of spiritual practice. Across cultures, the head has always been seen as sacred, and caring for the hair was often part of honoring the soul itself. In scripture, the act of anointing with oil, pouring oil on the crown of the head, was a way of setting someone apart, blessing them with protection and divine favor. That same principle still lives in how we care for our hair today, especially for chosen ones. Using oils, for example, isn't just cosmetic. Olive oil, coconut oil, and castor oil have all been considered sacred in different traditions, symbolizing nourishment, healing, and strength. When you massage oil into your scalp with intention, you're not only strengthening your hair, you're infusing your crown with care, peace, and spiritual energy. Some people even pray or speak affirmations while combing their hair, treating it as a daily ritual to clear negative energy and invite blessings. The key here is mindfulness. Something as simple as washing or brushing your hair can be transformed when you do it consciously. Instead of rushing through it, you pause and recognize, this is my crown, this is my shield, this is my antenna to higher wisdom. That shift in awareness turns an ordinary task into an act of empowerment. For chosen ones, this practice is especially powerful because your crown is constantly picking up energy from the world around you. By making hair care intentional, whether through natural oils, protective styles, or mindful rituals, you're actively strengthening your spiritual shield. You're reminding yourself daily that your hair is not random, it's holy, and caring for it is a way of caring for your soul. Hair has always carried a weight far beyond beauty. In nearly every faith and culture, it is tied to prophecy, discipline, or sacred identity. This isn't coincidence. It shows a universal understanding that hair is spiritual. In the Bible, Samson's strength was bound to his uncut hair. His locks weren't just physical, they represented a covenant with God. When Delilah cut them, his power left him, not because of magic, but because his vow had been broken. Likewise, the Nazarites were forbidden from cutting their hair as a sign of devotion, their uncut hair marking them as consecrated. In Sikhism, unshorn hair is a divine gift, never to be altered, symbolizing acceptance of God's will. In Islam, hair is tied to discipline and cleanliness. Trimming and grooming are part of spiritual purity, while the head is shaved after pilgrimage as a sign of humility before the Creator. In Buddhism, monks shave their heads to renounce vanity and embrace simplicity, their bare scalps reflecting surrender to higher truth. Indigenous traditions also show this sacred view. Many Native American tribes believe hair connects them to ancestors, carrying memory, strength, and spirit. Cutting hair after death or loss becomes a ritual of grief, symbolizing the soul's transition. For the chosen ones, all of this history whispers the same truth. Your hair is not random nor meaningless. It is a sign of identity, a spiritual marker, a visible covenant between you and destiny. When you recognize that cultures across the world protected, honored, or ritualized hair, you realize it's because they knew what many today have forgotten. Your hair is part of your calling. One of the most overlooked truths about hair is how often it shifts when your life path shifts. Your crown is sensitive to energy, and your hair responds to cycles of growth, endings, and renewal just like your spirit does. That's why some people notice their hair suddenly changing texture, growing faster, or even graying during major life transitions. To most, these are dismissed as random biology. But to a chosen one, these are signs, markers pointing to deeper movements in destiny. Think about those moments when your life takes a sudden turn. You step into a new purpose, walk away from an old chapter, or experience a spiritual awakening. Often, your hair reflects it. Rapid growth may arrive when you're moving into alignment, as if your body is expanding outward to match your rising energy. Sudden shedding or thinning might come during seasons where you're releasing old attachments or clearing what no longer serves you. Even dreams about hair, whether cutting, losing, or braiding it, can carry prophetic meaning, signaling what stage of transformation your soul is entering. For chosen ones, this link is especially strong. Because your journey is marked by divine timing, your hair often acts like a calendar of your inner evolution. When people comment, "Your hair looks different," they may not realize they're noticing your spirit. Your crown is speaking without words, confirming shifts you've already felt within. So instead of ignoring these changes, pay attention. Ask yourself, what is life trying to show me through my hair right now? Is it a season to release, to grow, to strengthen, or to protect? When you see your hair as a destiny marker, you stop treating it as ordinary. You begin to recognize it as a living symbol, carrying proof that you are moving closer to the path you were chosen to walk. Chosen ones, now you see, your hair has never been just about style or appearance. It has always been your crown, your shield, and your silent companion on the path of destiny. It carries memory, it reflects your emotions, it marks your spiritual seasons, and it connects you directly to higher guidance. Every strand is part of your story, woven with meaning and purpose. When you begin to honor your hair as sacred, you honor yourself. You treat the crown not as ordinary, but as holy ground, the place where your spirit meets the divine. Whether you choose to grow it, cut it, cover it, or care for it with mindful rituals, what matters most is intention. Your hair responds to how you treat it, but more importantly, it responds to how you treat yourself. So walk with confidence knowing this. Your crown is a signal to the universe, broadcasting who you are becoming. Protect it, respect it, and let it remind you daily of the light within you. And now I want to hear from you. What has your hair taught you about your journey? Share your story in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Quantum Veil, and share it with someone who needs this reminder today. Because your crown is not random, it is chosen just like you.